bubble. Moved a couple of my missile turrets back onto the island so they will last longer. Move my launch pad out of the way, move my dock out of the way. Now what I'm waiting on is my guard repairing still, because it's a massive repair. So first off, I was going to rank my the V2H7 base guard. It's quite low rank at the moment and it needs more blade missiles, but I would like to get it up to a decent level of rank, and then probably during the raid I'm going to refit it with a full loadout of blade missiles. Did a test on this earlier on some 71s, as you can see. Using my countermeasures Rhino to deal with all the damage. And they autoed us a couple of 71s just fine, so I should do this okay as well. We had the November work in progress. It wasn't groundbreaking. The alliance feature is quite cool, so we can move players about in your alliance to different roles, and having a lieutenant to do stuff when the alliance leader's not available, so that's quite cool. The DPS map thing I'm not so fussed about. I don't know, I might be wrong, it might be useful. What else was in there? Usual stuff, I guess. Nothing on time limited campaigns, so that they can't be accused of getting them wrong, I guess. What else was in there? These fellas on auto, so that's, I just remind myself of what else was in there. Oh, they're getting a change to how skins are applied. They're changing the name of them from models to skins, and you don't need to use shipyard for it, and there isn't any cost, which is cool. So I'll be putting on my new Rhino skin later. I am getting Sector Threat Orange on the 17th of November, which is the Drac, new Drac base things, which is good. And they're adding level 73 armadas today, which can be about 30,000 uranium each. So that'll be interesting to see how hard they are compared to normal one. I'm practicing with my subs in those, and I can do them for between 0 and a heck of a lot of damage. But I've been doing them with my Rhino Neptune Hunter fleet for 7-8 minutes damage with good driving, so that's cool. New FM content on the 18th, standard stuff, no need details on what it is. I would like to see, let's jump back and hit another cargo. I would like to see old raid tech, well, recent raid tech added. The elite tier of the FM is supposed to be raid level tech. Why not add some of the recent tech, like the new long range torps, maybe the Rhino hull, something like that, make people want to push for elite tier. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And of course it would save development time, and for those of us that have that tech, we can get more shipbuild tokens, which is a bonus. Rating fleets on the 19th, and they roosted it, mentioned that there is the possibility of another VXP weekend on Thanksgiving weekend, which I think is around the same time. Not sure, we don't celebrate it over here. The alliance improvements I mentioned coming in what's probably almost the last update of the month. So that's still work in progress, nothing groundbreaking, nothing to say they're fixing build times or ship repair times. So level 75 Armadas are coming, and usually they've got to lock the thread before a load of people commented on it, which is interesting. This is a good one. This is a good one. Doom mentioned in a reply to one of the threads that the raid prize hull is a Draconian heavy cruiser with 6 normal weapon slots and a heavy weapon slot. So, and that was all. So there's lots of speculation about what it might be. I'm going to zip to the end of this thread. I've read quite a lot of it. Yeah, so people are speculating as to whether we've got obviously lots of decent missile hulls recently, so that leaves things like ballistics, launchers, rockets or mortars. I would quite like to see mortars come back. We need a long range, high damage mortar. Something with, you know, mortars are artillery weapons. They fire a long way. Something with 100-ish range would be really cool. I would like that. Bring back the days of the DNX. I'm just reading this. So yeah, there's lots of speculation about weapon types. I'm wondering whether it might be a heavy launcher. There was the update recently where all cryo launcher stacks now jointly stack. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a new cryo, a D98 type cryo launcher with a heavy launcher to fit in the heavy weapon slot. That's my speculation. I'd quite like to see a heavy ballistic hull, that would be nice, with maybe a heavy version of the Arbalist, heavy weapon Arbalist maybe. So I guess we'll find out in just over 2 weeks what it's going to be. Yeah, so that's all the stuff that's going on in the game. Back to ranking and listening to music for now. Just Mates is doing the Dragon Strike. Point out you can use subs to kill the proton enemy. Because he's got really nice subs. He's got Tiger Sharks with scatterguns and stick-storps on. I'm pretty sure they could kill it if my Banshees can kill it.
This is my finale. Last grand exit plan. This is my big ending. Coda before this chapter dies. This is my awaited.
Sorry guys, it's got a working line I need to respond to. You can watch that. It's just like that, and you can watch it auto from Gargo if you want to do that.
take my leave so all can see. This is my last bravado. The heads above won't let me be.
Oh, let's get rid of him. Nice, so got a system monitor running in case you're interested, which I downloaded today just so I can keep an eye on how things are going on my computer. Yeah, just curious as to how hard it's being worked. I didn't get around to streaming the FAT again over the weekend. I did save up all my repaired fleets and hit it hard on Saturday, about 2 hours before I finished. I did about 7 battles again. I ended up finishing 14-0 and about 4th in my group for 1 gold spent. My opinion on this might be unpopular, but I much prefer it without uranium insurance. I did 14 battles in 2 blocks of 7. I played for probably about half an hour each time, and it was really good fun. And I was done, and I finished quite high up in the group. When we had uranium insurance, I was quite lucky. I had fleets that could compete well with me using our own fleets. I was using my base guard quite a lot, which at the time worked really well, and yeah, I could win a lot of battles. But because people could play a lot of battles, I had to put in, I don't know, over the weekend, 24 hours at least of gameplay. And it was a real grind, and I got really bored. How people can say having uranium insurance will make it fun, I'm not sure. People always complain that there are too many chores in the game. Well, with uranium insurance, the FAT is a massive chore. If you want to do well, you need to play a lot of matches. That means you need a lot of uranium, so although it's easy to get, you've got to put time into that as well. So yeah, I much prefer the FAT without uranium insurance personally. I'm sure I'm in the minority. But having an hour's fun for no cost to win a little bit of gold is better to me than playing for 6 hours a day all weekend, grinding battles to win the same thing maybe, or a whole. I don't care. The prizes are the prizes. But if there's uranium insurance, people will put in the time and they will make it a grind. People clearly have forgotten what it was like with uranium insurance, where people would play hundreds and hundreds of battles. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Personally, don't bring back uranium insurance. Uranium insurance just makes things more of a grind. So just checking my emails and stuff. We brought in car and we ordered a liner to put in the boot, so the dogs don't mess up, and it didn't fit. So some stuff I need to sort there to get the refund on that. Rest more. Many notifications that price is streaming. we have yet. So, still waiting on that. Next cargo. I doubt I'm going to get this very highly ranked of cargoes. But if I can get the rank up reasonably high before we get a VXP weekend, I can probably then make it legendary, particularly if I stick all of the blade missiles on it. It's going to have 8 blades in total once it's finished. And although it's primarily sub-defense, and it's loaded up with explosive armour to give it some resistance to the daisy cutters, it's nice. It would be nice if it could do enough damage to hurt the ships as they come in as well. Kind of a last line of defence. Generally people that are going to die in my base die at around that point, so it'd be quite cool to maybe kill them off a little bit earlier. Obviously it's got the same max range as any other base weapon or any other ship weapon in the game at the moment. So when people bring Rhino fleets in, etc., it fires when they fire. And obviously 8 blades is better than 3 blades. This is the first time I've tried to rank on cargo since we got to this sector, and I'm now realising just how quiet it is. As I think I said before on stream from here, this is our old home sector. There are almost no active players here. There's a couple around where we are, and that's about it really. I've not seen anyone speaking comms since we've been here. Let's see what he's up to. Yeah, it's very quiet. And we've been having a bit of action with the 235 sector next door, and that's been fun. THE coming to flatten my base wasn't so much fun, turns out an old friend is part of that alliance now from when we used to live in 352. So I had a chat with him yesterday, that was cool. I wish I'd seen all of the Ghostcrawler hit on the base. I was on my phone when they hit, and I couldn't tell there was a Ghostcrawler anywhere. I thought it was just holding my base with subs until the hit fleet came, so I went outside to have a look and reloaded my base, and there was a Ghostcrawler sitting next to my Wrath, and half my guard was dead. And I didn't actually realise I'd killed it until I looked back at the battle log and saw that it was dead. So yeah, I was pretty damn ecstatic about that, to be honest. In my shipyard at the moment is just another runner getting another piece of D5E. They're all going to have 3 each, and then I'm going to armour up the reserve-based prototype a bit more to act as a flag for the raid, and that'll be what I use mostly, I suspect. I watched Price stream the preview server, which showed that you could probably do some of it with subs, but I'm expecting that will change. But if I can, I'll use Banshees as much as possible to do it for free. I should, once I've finished armouring my Rhinos up, my plan is to either do fit the last couple of torps and specials to my Banshees, or to sorry, brain's running a bit slow today, or to build a Blade instant repair battlecruiser fleet. Now, main priority is to get that done. He's using his torps now, his subs now. Main priority is to get that done certainly before the Earths come out, and definitely before the VXP weekend. The only thing I'm worried about is they might be too slow, so might need to build something with wake module on it to speed them up and just run 4 at a time while I'm ranking them. I'm probably going to split the fleet anyway to rank it, so I can put one of my countermeasures boats with. Probably run, obviously run 2 and 3 and stick a countermeasures boat with each, and that should let me rank them on auto on cargo, so I can get them started. Let's have a look at that while we're doing random stuff. I finished R15 engines as well, compound engines. I need to update that one here. R15. And I've started retroing the engine system, just to get the speed up on my subs. So the plan is to build battle cruisers that look something like this. Some are going interception system. I'm thinking of Vade, just to try and stay alive that a little bit longer. And they are going to be R10 by the time we get there, which gives them 24 combat speed, which is not particularly fast. But if we had a wake module ship, they would have a combat speed of 38. What we need to do is build a low budget wake module ship and keep an eye on hitting cargo with that fleet. So we have got 3 options, I guess. We've got the Arbiter, which is a base build time of 10 hours. Hurricane, which is 4 days. Or we've got the Monarch, which is 6 days. I'm not too worried about what the problem would be whether we can get this thing quick enough. We're going to have to use scout engines. Make 3, I guess that's the 31. Gonna need some turn speed so that it actually behaves. What's D2 is 6 hours. I can only put one of those on anyway, so we'll put a B-Torp on it. And then 2D2, 3, that's 33 combat speed. It's about the same speed, in fact it's faster than my Rhinos. That's a 9-day build and that's ship's going to have quite limited use, I guess. Apart from the fact that if they bring back those Reaver holdouts I could rank that fleet in a few hours. The other option is a Hurricane or a Monarch. Monarch hull is 6 days and has a better weight reduction. Hurricane hull, so it's probably better to go for a Monarch if I'm going to build it. If I'm going to build a proper one. It's actually going to have some use outside of just ranking those ships. We can put some evade on it, can't we? A combat speed of 35. The attack field I'll have 38, so that should work. Okay. Probably gonna give it some more evade if we're gonna make it useful. And this has some torp weapon slots. Just 2 torp weapon slots, so my eyes have been playing up today. The last couple of days I'm having trouble actually seeing that. I'm ready for Google. So, I think those are UAV slots, aren't they? Yeah, those are UAV slots. So that's a 6 days long build. But it's probably a more useful ship. It's a bit quicker. It's got Reaver engine on it, isn't it? Stupidly short range. I was thinking about putting some countermeasures on there. Because they could probably hit armadas, to be honest. At 70% evade. That speed is slightly quicker on this, which is probably good. So either 15 days for a Monarch or 9 days for an ARB. And given that most of the build time is in that module, probably not worth refitting, although it is an option. I've got at least one Hurricane that could possibly refit. I built a few engine disruptor ships during the probably going to be storage. I pulled out when we had the Reaver raids. I built engine disruptor ships to slow them down. It's not in storage by the looks of it. That'll be somewhere in my dock. See if we can find it. There we go. So this is an R5 Hurricane. It's got engine thrusters and engine upgrade and V-torques. So how fast would one of those be? Hurricane. That's R5. Engine 3. Thrusters 3. It's got a B-torque and a T-torque on it. This was built to run with a B-torque BCX fleet that I built. I never really actually used that much in the end. I made some bad choices building ships when I was coming up through the game. 2 pieces of D2V armour. So up to 25. 29 combat speed. Well, that's still going to be a 6-day build to fit that guy on. How long does the Weaver engines take? See, that's going to be much module might taking off. Engine disruptor 2. Disruptor 2, that's 17 hours, so that's going to be a couple of hours to take off. That's a good option actually. It's a quicker build obviously, and it'll only be useful for ranking, but I don't use the hull anyway. So you might do that. I might do that. Let's go back to concentrating on ranking, I suppose. I like that idea. It might even be that fleet can be used for other stuff as well if it's faster. Yeah. That's my plan for those. Just move that over the view of my camera. Let's just tweak that around a little bit. On the subject of cameras, the walls in this room are a fairly bland colour. Almost good enough to use for a green screen. Unfortunately, they're very close to skin tone. So when you chroma key off of that, it removes half my face, which isn't great. And gives an option, I guess, for an easy green screen in the future. Although streaming is not being massively popular, it would seem. Might look at my YouTube stats lately. Which I'm doing on a different computer, so you can't see them. Our cargo about. I really want to have to go to set the next hole. There's a good chance I'll get sunk. And I kind of need the ship I'm ranking for my base guard. I've been doing some shorter videos lately. Wow. Track Armada video got more views in its first 2 days than any of your other videos from the last 6 months. That's kind of cool. How many views has it got? It's got 500 views. That's pretty good. Sort my views. So it is second compared to only to my Caustic Warfare video I did the day it came out. That's pretty awesome. See, I've been pushing out some videos I've created on my laptop, which is not particularly well built for creating videos, and the resolution drops off a little bit, and I'm not sure I'm going to keep producing material on there because it just doesn't look as good, to be honest. We'll see. If something comes out that I'm not expecting, yeah, I've been using anything to come out at short notice, or when they come out and I've not got time to come up and create a video on proper computer, but want to get something out quickly. I did manage to hit one of the level 70 armadas or 73 armadas that spawned randomly, which I was going, to do a video of, but the quality wasn't great, and they got pulled from the map very quickly anyway. They weren't that difficult. My driving wasn't great in it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them coming out later today, and we'll see what they're actually like. And I need a fair bit of uranium, so that works too. I'll probably hit a few armadas once this crew is finished. I need to do a couple of minutes repair on my armada hitting fleet. I'm watching to see how I do in this. See how the countermeasures cope with the incoming missiles. The answer is pretty well. There are 7 Phalanx 2s on that Rhino. I'd like to change them to Phalanx 3s. There's Hail Bs and Phalanx 2s, and I'd like to change the Hails to Scale 1s, and then put some Phalanx 3s on with the spare weight. But build time is the issue. So whilst it's remaining effective as a ranking countermeasure ship, I will use it. Obviously it's got the advantage of being legendary rank thanks to the EVXP weekend. So it's firing 4 times quicker. So it can cope with more incoming missiles into the also got the Neptune one, which has got Phalanx 3s, so it's got 4 Phalanx 3s on it. Which has been working crazily in the FM. I'll probably do a demo of it on Friday. It's lucky that I'll finish my Forsaken mission by then. I was hitting 85s for probably less than 5 minutes damage, doing everything in one go except the north and south torp tower. I found out yesterday, I think it was, that you can sneak up on those torp towers and kill them without them firing at you, so I'm going to try that as well. Because that would mean I could do it all in one hit. I'm taking the fleet that I'm preparing at the moment. Go everything far those 2 torp towers and then taking Crusaders and gunboats and get off the torp towers. Now it's way quicker than what I was doing before. way less damage, which is very cool. I had the FM done in the double FM done in 24 hours last week, with no repairs at the end of it. And it's all down to that ship. If you've got a Neptune, build it. I'm probably going to take the 2-blade missiles off. I'm going to replace them with one Harrier, I think, and maybe put another anti-missile on there. Blades were because I was expecting to have to rank it. And it wasn't working with the 98s on there. However, we had the XP weekend, where I got both my new countermeasure ships up to legendary rank. I'm actually thinking about it with that. I've got countermeasures Harlock's Triton I use quite a lot. And with that weight module ship, I could maybe rank that up as well. Get a VXP weekend because it's so slow. That's a possibility. Or I could rank it on Earth. It's up to about 68% at the moment. That was from mainly cargo and some of the earlier Earths when I was ranking my nuke cruiser fleet up. That's, yeah, back when nuke cruisers were still relevant. I copied a build off of BP Nexus. Actually, it's been changed slightly because we've got more Dockquay and we've got S launchers, so it's got S launchers on it now. But I had a countermeasures Triton with it, and it could do a drag base on its own, which it does, which was cool at the time because it didn't have many fleets that could without lots of damage. It was also great for the FM back before it changed, because it could hit 65s for pretty low damage, it could hit 55s all day long. So yeah, it'd be nice to get that ranked up to legendary actually. I had thought about it could do with being retro as well, since it's Harlock's Triton, you can go to R5, but retrofit lab time is so precious, and it's just not on priority, particularly now I've got these fast countermeasures boats. That actually act as really good spotters as well, and the Rhino's not so great, it's not got any armor on it. To be fair, it doesn't need it. I'm probably not going to use it for very much other than cargo ranking. I had planned to run it with my Corsair fleet for the FM, but I don't need to use the Corsairs for the FM, and I was kind of disappointed. It was before it ranked, but I was kind of disappointed with how it performed in an 85. It couldn't handle the morts, whereas the Neptune can quite comfortably kill all of the morts. Which is partly how I can do them so low damage. I can kind of creep my way around the base with the countermeasures, dealing with everything in the countermeasures and the siege deflection on the Rhino, just negating all of the damage off the turrets, and blades outrange all of the ships. The SCXs and the V2H, I use the Vasaka prototype to spot, so I basically kite with the Rhinos and the Sarko's Hunter. That way, if anything hits, that's got assault deflection built in, which again negates most of the damage. And partly that's been because one of my Rhinos has always been in refit since the end of the raid, and getting armour added to them. So very soon they will have all their armour, and I'll probably run 3 Rhinos and the Neptune. Not that I need the extra firepower, everything dies pretty quick, but you can never have enough, eh? Looks like there's going to be just enough cargo about for me to run Salty Dogs. See how much we get. I'm guessing I'm going to help maybe 1 rank. Not sure what 50 pays out for this. I checked and a 71 was paying out the max VXP for the V2H, which is all you care about. The 55s might not. It's got a reasonable amount of armour on it. Got some D3X and a bulkhead, I think. It's only got a bulkhead. Not sure what the explosive armour is. And as I say, it's designed to be daisy cutter proof. I think it takes something like 6 daisy cutters to completely kill it. And then the Viper's armoured up for the same reason, so you need a decent amount to kill that. So having had my antis up daisy cutter once, hasn't happened since. The only subs I've had since was the Ghost Crawler, which died. I don't know how much health it had when it came in, but I killed it, so I was happy. It would be even better if this had legendary rank and all the blade missiles filled up. So it's got 3 at the moment. So the other 5 is going to be about 2 days, so I should be able to get that done during the raid, hopefully with some build tokens. I will be redeeming my build tokens at the very start of the raid and hoping they reset them so that I can get 2 weeks like people did in the last raid. I can't say everyone because quite a lot of us got screwed out of it. I suspect they won't make that mistake again, but you never know. I'm optimistic about the raid, depending on the points payout. The 40s look really easy. I'm assuming they are the equivalent of Strike campaign, so that's the sort of points they'll pay out. There was mention when Price was filling the survey of 30s, which I think are these sub-level 40 level lock targets, which has got to be the same as Recon, I guess. Which means the 80s must be elite equivalent. So my hope is either, and then the 60s, some of the 60s didn't look too bad, and again some of them were solvable. So I'm optimistic between Banshees and the Rhino fleet that I should be reasonably well set for the raid. I doubt I will have all the battle cruisers built, and they certainly won't be legendary, so they won't be instant repair. I've gone for those over the Seawolves because they are just a little bit tougher and they have thermal built in, which is obviously going to be good for when we get the Scourge back, which I'm sure we will. And then they've got a lot more evade, and the only weapons that are going to be hitting them at the moment, subject to change obviously, are blade missiles and maybe antipose on fusion cruisers. They're the only weapons that have got equivalent range, so evade is going to help with that. I think they end up with high 60s or maybe 70% evade. And once they're legendary, they'll be instant repair, and that hopefully means I'll have a fleet that's capable of grinding raids out. I did a lot of grinding with Banshees last raid, zombie Banshees. They could kill quite a lot of the siege campaign. I'm hoping that the combination of the two will work quite well. So once I've done that, I'm going to then start building Tiger Sharks, the scattergun Tiger Sharks. I think, depending on what the new raid hull is, I guess. The reason I want Tiger Sharks is the sonar, so that I can spot the subs better if we're fighting the Scourge. I had originally wanted them to do the Forsaken mission with, to kill 85s, but I think they'll be slower than using the fleet I'm using now, and the repair's not massive on it. I could pretty much instant repair between 85s, so maybe that's not a priority anymore. Sonar would be good to fight the Scourge with subs. And it was one of my alliance leaders got a fleet of them with scatterguns, and it's quite funny watching him flatten bases with them. Which would be fun, but I'm not a big base hitter, as you'll have seen. Generally because the more people you hit, the more chance you have of being hit. Now I did go and hit a load of bases last night. Before I was hit, I went and did my alliance points, and I hit 5 really easy bases. I hit level 80 something who didn't have a massively tough base, but he killed most of my Corsair fleet. Partly because I suck at driving. Didn't use a rocket, didn't do any prep. Just went in and hit it, and he was worth a medal. So it wasn't the toughest base in the world, obviously. Because otherwise it would have been worth a bit more. So 1400 P. That means I think I got 700 on this guy. That would be the Rhino, that would be the wrong ship. Yeah, 700 XP on that. So not bad. It's going to be a slow process getting it to legendary. I wish I could show you the playback of the hits on my base last night. I wish I could show it to you. Let's just answer about that. Just because I don't like having a little bit of damage fleet in my base. Start preparing. 154,000 uranium, so we'll do some armadas in a minute, I think. Not a lot going on, so just listen to the music for a bit, and I will be back very shortly. Okay, folks, back. So, uranium time, I think. I've tried a few combinations of this. I tried sticking a Banshee in and it made a small difference to the repair bill. Yeah, so basically using the, I'll give you a demo. If I can find where my other Banshee is. Yeah, obviously it becomes very slow on the map, so I'm going to stick the Wharf Rat on. Need about 100,000 uranium to fill back up, and probably spend it on road crews. I've been going in from the top, following advice from Power Pirates Grip, I think it was, on their show. It seems to be the best. So we send most of the fleet that way, but not quite so far. Send the Banshee off that way, and we stop the Visago. And move it a little bit. And basically kite the Kodiaks. Only takes a salvo or two to get them off. Using the Hunter for its assault deflection. Send that back to get the sub. And then send the Banshee down towards the Nuke cruisers, and I also kite them with the Visago because I found that I was driving like an idiot and they were firing on the Visago whilst I was trying to kill them with my subs like that. So you're not driving very well at all, as is usually the case when I stream. So basically I can park the Banshee in, and if I've timed it right I can kill the 3 ships that are left. So I've taken a bit more damage than I would have liked, to be honest. instant repair damage. Some of it I think is down to trying to drive the Banshee and just having more ships to manoeuvre. I'll take it back and we'll see how much damage it is, and then I'll add in the Neptune instead of the Banshee and we'll see how I do. The Neptune obviously adds a lot of countermeasures to it, which probably helps. So that's one done. Let's go back and see what the bill is. Even the Aegis took some shots. Well, that was fairly poor, wasn't it? So trying to keep the sub out of the battle seems to distract me. Let's take the sub out and put the Neptune in. So we're at 12 minutes, 23 seconds worth of damage. Yes, I want to launch it, so I click launch. During the day is a bad time to stream. Unfortunately, it's the main time I get to stream. I might do a stream later this evening actually when some threes come out. That might be bad. Oh, stupid boy. Not retreat, you idiot. It's been a stressful few days. It's been a good day, 24 hours. It's been a stressful 24 hours. Same process basically, but with the Neptune rather than with the sub in there. Obviously like the countermeasures from the Neptune helping with some of the missiles coming in. We turn back to click the sub. There it is. watching. So we'll come out hot, just in case. And these things are made of freaking glass, which I'm not complaining about. And then I'll bring it right down the side. Basically, using blade missiles, you can set yourself up so that you can kill the mastodons without the second one, remote targeting. And my retargeting kills the Highlander, which is pretty cool. I like it. I think these armadas are a big success from my point of view. Fleets that couldn't kill 60 dredges before can kill these. Yeah, you take damage, but if you couldn't kill a 60 dredge in the first place, you're taking less damage than you were before. Well, you're taking more damage, but you're getting something for it because you probably didn't hit them. You know what I mean. You see the second Mastodon's not firing, and the retargeting takes out the Highlander. Basically, like the nuke cruisers, the thing's made of glass, which is good. I'm going to come out hot, just in case. Because I didn't recognise who that was watching. And we'll go see what the damage was. The other downside of being in a not very busy sector is there aren't very many armadas at spawn. So I've got 12 minutes, 23 seconds before. So a lot more than that this time. Yeah, about 20 minutes damage off that one. So weird. So weird. So variable the damage. I wonder if it's because... Nah, this is a possibility. This is a possibility. Have people been sacking? Yeah. I've got almost all of the bonus, so it's not going to be that. What I'm looking forward to is being able to get some people shifted into this one. The compound armour evade. And maybe the defenders, so we can max out those two bonuses with the change in the alliance stuff. Let's have a practice with subs. I've not been doing brilliantly with my subs, to be honest. I was practicing not last night, the night before, and I managed to do some with no damage, and I managed to do a couple where I got myself completely killed. Let's put a little bit of health back on the Phantom and then go and lose it somewhere. Basically, if there's folks lurking about trying to use snipe, I don't want to get sniped because these are long repair. And someone just there softly killed. Took the guy 3 attempts to kill it, but hey, a dead subfleet is a long repair. I don't recognise him. My preferred way to kill off the Phantom is to hit 85. And obviously that doesn't work after the update today until the FM comes back. But it's a fairly quick way of killing it off. Using a variety of flags with this fleet, and I've got a Navarre ARP which I use for things where occasionally where I'm not bothered about people sniping them. If I'm actively out doing things with them, I'll usually stick that in. Wow, lag. Just because it gets run out quickly and it usually dies with whatever I'm doing. Just wait for the retreat timer to come back up. We'll be good to go. That's something that I spotted in a video, and I have tried myself, is that if you edge up to the top towers in these which have 90 thermal, you can kill them with the sticks or Charon tops. I'll be right back, folks. I am back and parked next to an Armada. I will get stuck into it and see how I can do. See how much of a fool I can make of myself driving my subs. It would be good if I can get my driving down in these, so I can do them for free. Get chat back up, I suppose. There we go, not there's anyone watching. Now the priority is the V2H, obviously. Lag. So I shift click on it, although I've just clicked on the Mastodon. Lower priority is obviously the Kodiaks. They don't have quite as much thermal. There's the V2H. What I've not got down is how far out from the Mastodons he comes. To be honest, I'd rather be more cautious and it take me a few attempts to catch him whilst I'm killing off the other stuff in here. Let's see if we can get the Nighthawk. Yep, we have, but run. That was very close. That was way too close. Need to stack my ships a bit better. That's the problem. I tend to chase certain targets that come up when I should be more patient. Another couple of shots off at him. And we'll run away. Mainly because that guy's very quick. So I need room to run away and hide from him. And then I can come back up. It looks like I only need one more salvo of torps to kill off the V2. Come on, dive. Oh, I might be able to get him there. No, not quite enough speed. That's partly why I have been retroing with battle cruisers. Obviously, from my earlier discussion, I want to get them up to R10. I switched over so that I could finish off retroing compound engine, and one of the reasons I want to retro the engines is I have speed upgrade on here, and those small amounts of speed are potentially the difference between getting a volley of torps off and or getting flattened when I'm trying to run away. But this is the time where I start needing to be cautious, rather than diving in to pick off some of these other ships. Get stuck. Mortared. That might be enough. Hey, there we go. Right. Should be fairly trivial to kill it off now. So while that's finishing, I'm just going to switch computers. quick email. So, I can do it without taking damage. What I'm not sure on yet, and it took me a lot of practicing dredges actually to get it right, is to get the pathing of the V2H in my head. And if I can get that down, I'll be good to go on these for free. I'm expecting the 73s will have those hunters in with arbalists that can hit subs, and obviously massive range torps. So I won't be doing those with banshees. And the problem in the logic there for kicks is if people can kill 60s for free with their different subs, be they ghost crawlers, banshees, tiger sharks, why are they going to hit 73s? Uranium is so plentiful right now that I can't see the need for it. I can see more need for an easier target maybe for those people that don't have subs with the long range torps on, or Rhino missile fleets. I can see those being much more of a priority, or should be much more of a priority, than catering for those high-end players. There we go, spotted, see? And instantly took quite a bit of damage. That's what I get for talking whilst driving. We'll try going in and getting the Nighthawk, which I'm not going to achieve. Use Alvos off against the V2H. I do need to try and make sure, which is obviously very difficult, that I don't get into sonar range of that sub, which I did. Because if there's anything else in range that can, with surface weapons, they'll fire at me. See, this is where things get awkward and I take a shitload of damage. And that's kind of why I like using surface fleet to do this. Because the damage is more even. That's going to be hours of repair. That's going to be hours of repair. Yeah. And that's the problem with these, where I don't have my pathing down. I just can't get it in my head right. Talking whilst I'm doing it hasn't helped. But yeah, well, I've had the same problems when I've not been streaming. Cannot get my pathing down. It might be easier when I've got a little bit more speed from the 2 B-torps I'm planning to put on. I don't know. Obviously it's okay now, I can just drive in and kill stuff. But that amount of damage is frustrating. We'll dock them after this and see how bad it is. Can't have that guy drive over me, he'll see me because I've not got massive stealth yet. Only got 70 or 75% stealth, so I need to put 2 bits of stealth armor on still. Disappointed with that. Disappointed with that. Let's take it back and dock one and see how bad it was. think I'd much rather hit them with surface fleet, to be honest, and take less consistent damage. Actually, to be honest, I'm thinking about switching off and playing something else, something a bit slower. My eyes are still playing up. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Thanks for, no one was watching live. So, those of you on Twitch, please check. Those of you on YouTube, please check out my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/dis_turbed. If you're watching it, you know where my YouTube is. And again, failing to keep up with social media, at dis_turbed1. One of the other bugs that came out since I last streamed was the random cargo spawning, and I actually tweeted a picture to Kixeye support and I got a response, which was quite cool. Yeah. Facebook dis.turb.509. Catch you later, folks.